honored if you would join us.
Hello, my friends, fellow speakers. This is Brian, the Speaker for the Dead. Thank you for being here tonight with me on this impromptu Mandalorian live stream. Welcome to everybody who's here in the chats. I'd like to thank Adega Outlaw, who stopped by earlier, but couldn't stay because I'm going to spoil the hell out of this. I'll try. So if you have not seen this season or the last episode, just be aware that there will be spoilers coming. When I think that's going to happen, I'll try and give you a little bit of a heads up so that before I actually get into the spoilers tonight. But I had to do this. I wasn't going to do a live stream. I wasn't even planning on doing this. And then I watched the final episode this morning when I was at work. I was sitting waiting for something else to end, so I was just like, well, I got a few minutes. So as my day went on, I watched it in little bits and pieces, and I'm going to have to go back and watch it again. Initial reactions for this last episode. Oh my God. Yes. This is what Star Wars is. This is what we've wanted. This is what made Star Wars. I mean, and what happened in this last episode. Okay. Now let's get the elephant out of the room. Is this the best Star Wars ever? No, it's not. Do I love the sequel trilogies? No. In fact, Black Angus, pardon me, lost the name there for a second. Black Angus, who's a friend of mine, was tweeting some stuff today about just kind of bad mouthing. I don't know if his intent was to bad mouth, but he was kind of bad mouthing the Fandom Menace people if they liked the Mandalorian, and I kind of wasn't sure what his intentions were. Angus is usually pretty grounded, so I kind of know what he's driving at, but I wasn't really sure of his point on this, because I fall into that category. Loathe the sequel trilogy, absolutely loathe it, but I have enjoyed the Mandalorian. Now there's been parts of it that I thought, no, but for the most part, it's been good. Like I said, it's not the greatest, but it's been good. And I'll take good Star Wars over bad Star Wars every day of the week and twice on Sunday. It's not even a thought. I don't even have to think about it. Star Wars is a huge part of my childhood. I remember going to the movies. I've probably told that story in videos before, but it was just such a cornerstone of my childhood growing up. I mean, I had the snow speeder, which was, it was like, yeah, I know you're looking at a screen, so this is not the proportional size. But I mean, I had the snow speeder back when they made really cool toys and not just beep boop 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 things that go in. I remember toys, real toys. I wish I had those toys now. I had the Imperial shuttle, Darth Vader shuttle, that I got for Christmas one year, and it was probably, I don't know, 1.5 feet tall. It was freaking huge. By today's standards, it probably cost you $300 for a toy like that. I don't know what my folks paid for it at the time, but it was huge. And it had this handle you hold on the bottom of it, and you'd click the trigger, and the wings would fold down. I mean, this thing was gigantic. Or maybe I was smaller. One of those two. But it was just huge to me. So when the prequels came out, I went and saw them. I mean, the prequels were not my favorite either. Especially Phantom Menace. That was not my favorite. But I feel really bad about what happened to that kid that played Anakin, because he was a kid. He was a kid actor. And I mean, that wasn't good for him in the long run. But and I wasn't real sold on Aiden Christensen's performance as Anakin either. But I mean, they were still done by George Lucas. They still had his touch on them, and they were still Star Wars. That's the biggest thing about them, is they were still Star Wars. They may have not been my favorite Star Wars, but they were Star Wars. And that's what I feel about The Mandalorian but I actually think The Mandalorian has been better than the prequels in a lot of ways. Now, I'm sure there's people going to be like, you suck, you're not a Disney lover. Whatever. Because I'm a big enough guy that to say, you know what, when Disney does something right, I'm gonna give them that credit. But really, this comes down to Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. I think more Jon Favreau than anything is why this show has been so good. I mean, you look at the credits for who's writing the episodes. It's Jon Favreau, Jon Favreau, Jon Favreau, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, Jon Favreau, Jon Favreau. I mean, you got to really credit Jon Favreau for keeping this on track. I mean, Jon Favreau gave us Iron Man. He's had a few swing and misses. I mean, because he did give us Iron Man 2. Actually, I went back and watched that not too long ago. Better than I remembered. Anyway, but I mean, today I got to say, okay, from this point in, there's going to be some spoilers. So if you have not seen this, you might want to click away. If you have not watched up to the last episode, there's going to be some spoilers here. Because I want to talk about what happened with this episode that came out, the final episode for season 2. Starts off great. I mean, it was really pretty much an action-packed, just boom, 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 boom. I mean, from the moment the episode gets going, I mean, we see the planning, we see, we get to see just all these great characters kind of come together in this conglomeration of, we're going to kick people's butt. And I seriously need to go back and watch the whole season over again now, kind of all in one big block. So I can, because the only real episode that I didn't care for this season was, let me make sure I get the name correct, because I don't want to slaughter it. The Passenger. The Passenger episode was kind of a miss for me. In fact, I skipped most of it. I skipped like the spiders thing. I was just like, no. And there was some stuff in this season that was a little bit like that. The first episode wasn't the best, but it wasn't bad either. It was decent. It was decent for Star Wars. So, oh, hello, Lady Miss. Thanks for joining in. Good to see you. Sorry I haven't seen you in quite a while. I just, life got in the way. But I moved it out of the way now. So anyway, but yeah, it just, today, for the first time in I don't know how long, I had my expectations subverted in a good way. I have had such low expectations for this, and I've just been waiting for that other shoe to drop. I've been waiting for them to screw this up, to ruin this somehow. And I'm just like, they're going to do it. I know they're going to do it. But they didn't. Today, they gave us what we should have been getting this whole time from Disney. If Disney had started this way, had they done The Mandalorian first, had they been, getting people who loved the Star Wars, who loved Star Wars, who loved George Lucas, who wanted to honor his vision, who wanted to, that's all we wanted. That's all we ever really wanted. Because let me confess something here. Lord, I apologize. The sequel trilogy, the story was mm, the characters, I didn't mind the characters. I didn't mind Ray. I didn't mind Poe. I didn't mind. I mean, the characters were. It was what they did with those characters. It was the way they took those characters that caused the problem for me. I wouldn't have cared if Ray had been a great, awesome, amazing, freaking character that I could have got behind, who had problems and had to overcome issues. And I mean, I really didn't care like who they put in or which characters they added or anything like that. I just wanted it to be good. I wanted it to be consistent with what we knew about Star Wars. And I didn't care if they changed a couple of things or turned things in a different direction a little bit. Because I've heard a lot of people going about The Mandalorian. It's all the fan service. It's fan service. It's fan service. It's fan service is all get out. I can't. And my response is, and what's wrong with fan service? If it's done right, freaking bravo. That's why it's called fan service. It's giving the fans what they want, as opposed to not. see how that works? I mean, see, Rogue One, I can give you a perfect example. Rogue One, when you see the two scumbags from Mos Eisley's cantina in in Jeddah City, and she bumps into him and he turns around and what should I do? That's a perfect example of bad fan service. Throwing characters like them in where they didn't belong, and that city was kind of blown up, and that's before Star. So you have to assume that she bumped into them as they were on the spaceport, way to the spaceport to leave to go to Tatooine, or somewhere else, because that city kind of exploded. But also in the same vein, Rogue One did some fan servicey stuff really well. With the uniforms and when they brought Darth Vader in at the end, and that was one of the most, pardon my expression here, but badass moments we've ever got to see with Darth Vader. When he comes on board that ship, when he boards them and tries to stop them from leaving with the that's Vader. That's Vader at his finest. You're just like, oh, it makes you realize, because in the original movies, they don't. All the Jedi are dead. They, except for Ben and Luke and Yoda and a very few handful that were still alive. So you don't really get to see Vader go full on Jedi, because nobody could compete with him on that level. He didn't have to. He just had to bat away a couple of things. And anyway, so it was great to see. That's great fan service. And The Mandalorian, has had some really great fan service. Fan service done correctly. And that's one of the things that's made it great. Now, it's got a little heavy-handed at times, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay. All right. It's okay. I'm all right with it. Oddly enough. But bringing Bill Burr back this season, when I realized that they were bringing back his character in which episode was it? The Siege, I think it was. Pardon me. Like I said, I need to go back and watch these again, because I only watched them once and then I've never been able to get back to them. But nope, wasn't the Siege. Anyway, you'll have to pardon me. PayPal or Wikipedia is being stupid. So Laura, I apologize. But anyway, so, and then my mic's in the way. Don't you love my baby Yoda? He's so cool. And he's gone. We'll get to that in a second. So we have, actually, I think it was it The Believer? I don't remember. Anyway, I loved that episode. You'd think I'd remember the name of it. But I did. It was so great to see Bill Burr come back. And I mean, that scene where he's in the cantina and that Imperial officer is sitting there talking about that massacre where they basically killed everybody in this area, plus a whole battalion of like stormtroopers, which Bill Burr was a part of that, you know, and he survived that experience. And he's sitting there and you can just see him working himself. This guy is just getting under his skin to the point where he just pulls out a blaster and blows the guy away. Oh my gosh. But I love Bill Burr. I love his comedy. He's so funny, so irreverent. He just calls it like it is and stuff. So to get to see his character come back and learn more about his character and watch that blossom out was just great. It was so good. And he plays that character that you know, fast talking criminal. He just played that part so well. Such great casting on Dave Filoni, or actually it was Jon Favreau that called and asked him to come in. But this season has been really good, and it has not had nearly as slow moments as the first season did for me. Like I said, other than where the spider things and the whole killing the shark thing in the first episode of this season. I mean, that seemed to, I was just like, they could have done something, I don't know what, to kind of, as it didn't feel like that pushed the story forward as much. Because as I understand it, in the EU, that's how Boba Fett got out of the Sarlacc pit, is one of those sand shark looking creatures, whatever they call them. I'm sure somebody in the Star Wars world will be like, Brian, they're called a Zabandadu. But yeah, I don't know what I don't know what they're called. But that's how Boba Fett got out, is one of those things killed the Sarlacc that he was in, and he was able to escape. And that's why he's all scarred. It's because he was being digested, you know. That's gonna leave a mark. Anyway, so but I mean, it allowed us to see Boba Fett coming back in, you know, as he looks on from afar. But I just felt like they kind of that episode didn't really move us forward. But this season we got to see them bringing the EU back into things. They brought in elements from the Clone Wars. They brought in elements from the EU, aka Admiral Thrawn, Grand Admiral Thrawn, which, you know, is from the Timothy Zahn books, and then they used him in Rebels, I believe. I never watched that animated series. I was like, anyway, just I loved Clone Wars, but when it came to no, they kind of lost me on that. But just so many great moments, so many great characters. Cara Dune, Gina Carano, I love you. I just love Gina Carano. I love the way she is on Twitter. I love that she doesn't kneel. I doubt I agree with her on everything, or you know, whatever. But I respect her for going, you know what, I'm not going to be bullied into saying the crap you want me to say. And I can respect that, whether I agree with her on everything or not. But I mean, she's been a great actress in this. I loved her when she was in Deadpool. And just so many good characters. Grief Cargo, which I didn't feel like we got to see him nearly as much this season. Carl Weathers, just a great actor, great character. I was so excited to see him back. And so I haven't seen Carl Weathers since the Rocky movies. I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention or what, but great actor, great to see him back in something like this. It's just, it's been fun to watch this. So let's get to the last episode, and then, you know, depending on what you guys want to do, we'll go back and discuss other episodes from the season. So I'm just going to say it. I was watching that end sequence and I kept thinking, no, that's not who I think it is. No, they're not going to give me that. No, this couldn't be possible. Mm-mm. And even when I saw the green lightsaber, I'm like, no, don't, Brian, don't let them get you. They're going to get you. They're you know, I have so little faith in Hollywood to do the right thing anymore. I was just like, you bastards, you're going to reel me in. And then pull out somebody out of your butt that I don't even know, and they didn't. We got to see Luke Skywalker in all his Jedi glory kick the crap out of a platoon of dark troopers, which there again, dark troopers. I played Dark Forces, the video game. I mean, they brought elements from everywhere through the Star Wars universe. Dark troopers. I mean, EU characters. I mean, they just brought everybody in. It's like the family reunion for Star Wars. It's awesome. But they gave us Luke like we should have gotten Luke all along. Like we got Luke in the EU. I've heard several people make that comment. If you've read the Timothy Zahn books, that's the Luke we see in Timothy Zahn's books, Heir to the Empire and the rest. It's just, I was, and I was, when he pulled back his hood, I was sitting in my truck, like I say, I was at work, and I was sitting there waiting for a load to finish, and he pulls back that cowl, and I just went, yeah! I just freaked out because I was just like, I thought for sure they were going to screw up that moment, and they didn't. They didn't. They gave us what we deserved. I thank you, Jon Favreau. Thank you, Dave Filoni. And I heard people making comments today. The CGI face for Luke wasn't as good as us. Shut up. Shut up. Please, for the love of God and all that's holy, just shut up. They are, okay, I don't know if you've noticed this, but Mark Hamill's gotten a little older. So just, you know what? Stop nitpicking. I thought Princess Leia in Rogue One was a little not great either. But you know what? I was okay with it because it was still Princess Leia, and it was still Carrie Fisher's voice, and she was still alive at the time. I just thank you. Thank you for giving me that moment, for restoring my faith that there's somebody out there who's in charge of these things that cares about Star Wars, that loves Star Wars, and that doesn't want to subvert my expectations, that doesn't want to kick me in the teeth, that doesn't want to politicize something that I love. Please stop politicizing everything. Seriously. I get you guys are really passionate about your political beliefs. Me too, but I don't have to put them in everything. Notice a lot of my videos, I do political videos, and then I do entertainment videos. See? And I keep them separate for the most part. You don't have to do that. You don't have to beat us over the head with your politics. Or if you're going to do it, be smart about it. Be clever. Use analogy. Use what science fiction was great at. Because today was awesome. I know this is going to sound sad, but I told my brothers this because I Marco Polo with my brothers all the time. And I told them today, I'm like, I finally have something that I can look back into 2020 and go, that was the moment. That was my happy moment. Right there. I was so happy. He kind of whooped up on the Dark Troopers a little too easy. I don't even care. Because the moment, and I didn't think they could top it until R2D2 rolls around from behind Luke and starts cheering. Oh, I needed a cigarette afterwards. It was a total joygasm. It was the best thing out of 2020. Thank you. Please keep Kathleen Kennedy away from this series. I'm begging you. But yeah, I was speechless for about 3 seconds, and then I was like, I got on and started talking with my brother. I'm like, ah! And my one brother hadn't seen it yet, so I'm just like, I can't talk to you about it. So that's why I'm doing it now. I am so glad that they finally gave us this. The only blight The only dark spot in it for me is if they don't retcon, if they don't decanonize the sequel trilogy, that amazing Luke, that powerful Luke, that Luke that we all loved from Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back and Star Wars, A New Hope, still becomes that worthless sack of cat vomit sitting on Octu, drinking cow's milk from green manatees. You see, I just had today to keep that from ruining everything. I just had to go, all right, separate those two, keep this over here and keep that over there. Because, yeah, that is the way it stands. That still happens to Luke. So even as glorious as it was to see Luke do what he did today, it's still going to turn out badly if they don't fix that. But this gives me hope. This gives me hope that they're going to go back and they're going to change things, or they're going to, I don't know, but there's hope again. There's a new hope. Get to see what I did there. So I'm really excited to see where they go from here. Although, if you watch the post credits scene, we watch Boba Fett take over Jabba Hutt's organization. He goes in, kills the spaghetti head guy sitting on the throne, and takes over, which I have to say that seemed a little too easy. So he's basically taken over Jabba's crime syndicate. Maybe it's a lot weaker than it was at Jabba's, heyday, his prime. But I mean, you hear him walk in, pa-choo, 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 pa-choo. I shot 8 guys and now I'm king. I'm just like, was that all it took? You're a crime boss. Shouldn't you have more people than that? So that seemed a little too easy to me. But what bothered me most of all was the words that came up after that. The book of, I can't remember exactly what it was, but the gist was, the book of Boba Fett is to come. And I'm sitting there going, so what the hell happened to Mandalorian? So is this becoming the Boba Fett show now? It left me with a lot of unanswered questions, is what I'm trying to say. I walked away from it thinking, what? I'm like, wait, what? So is it going to become like a split storied show where we're watching kind of two stories, like, Love Actually? I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie, but you've got like 4 storylines all going on parallel to each other. Is that what we're going to get now? So we got the Boba Fett line going here, and we got the Mandalorian line going here, and Cara Dune is apparently getting her own show. Yes. So because it doesn't sound like they're going to make the Boba Fett show, because that wasn't announced by Kathleen Psycho in the investors call that they had here a week or so ago. And so is Mando out? Is Mando out because the story with Mando and Grogu is gone, which I don't know why everybody hates that name. Did you want it to be like Yodel, Yeti, Yaboodle? I mean, does it have to start with a Y? Because we got Yoda, and then we got the female Yedentol, or I can't remember what her name was. Started with a Y. Do they have to be named with a Y name? It can't be Grogu. I mean, would that have been my first choice? No, probably not. But I'm okay with it. I think we're getting a little bit too nitpicky on some of this stuff. Of course, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I mean, we all have our little things. But I don't know. I'm a little concerned about what they're going to do for season 3 now, because I'm not sure where they're going with it. Because I was just getting excited because they really opened up a lot of possibilities in this season. Not the least of which in the episode where Bill Burr comes back as Madu, I can't remember what his name was, Miggs Mayfield. We see the Mandalorian go to a computer terminal, and the reason they brought Miggs Mayfield was because they needed his face. They needed his face to be recognized by the computer so that they could get access to the data and find out where Moff Gideon's ship was and everything. Well, he flakes out, can't do it, won't do it because of the person in there. He's afraid he'll get recognized. And then we have the Mandalorian go up, and he takes off his helmet, and the computer recognizes his face, which tells us his face is known to the Empire. He's worked for the Empire, or he's done enough for the Empire, or someone with a very, very similar face has worked in the Empire. And so I'm just, when that happened, I'm just like, whoa, hey, we seem to be missing a chapter. Anybody want to explain that? He got access using his face. Like, that shouldn't have happened. It should have went, nope, we don't recognize you. Guns, weapons, stormtroopers coming out of everywhere. But it didn't. He got in. So I want to know I want to know that story. Where did that go? So, I mean, the Mandalorian's got a lot more avenues that we could explore. We could go into his past. We could, he could end up having his past come back to haunt him in the future. And that's how we learn about it. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities there. I mean, you've spent 2 seasons now building up this character, building up all these characters in this show. Grief Karga, Cara Dune, the Japanese gal from that seems to be in like every TV show. She was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She was May. I can't think of her name. She's the assassin, the sharpshooter. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names. I can't remember every name. I'd have to have like a list here in front of me. You know what I'm talking about. That gets saved by Boba Fett. I mean, we're just kind of finding out about her, but of course, it seems like she's going to follow the Boba line. The Boba Fett storyline. Hey, thank goodness for live stuff, huh? So I'm excited to see where this is going to go. But I don't want them to just walk away from Mandalorian. I want them to carry forward with this storyline. And if you want to do a Boba Fett series, cool, do that. And then have them jump back and forth, because you've got this. So here was my problem with the Boba Fett thing. Boba Fett was always, he was a cutthroat, conniving, he was an evil guy in the original trilogy. I mean, he does some pretty terrible things, and works for Jabba the Hutt. We hear Vader say, "No disintegrations." So obviously he's done that a lot in the past. And so I'm excited to see what they could do with Boba Fett, but we see a different side of Boba Fett in The Mandalorian, which surprised me. It shows that he kind of has a code of honor, because, he gets his armor back from the Mandalorian and then agrees to help him with the child because he made an agreement, and he Cred Socks. Hey, sorry. Squirrel. Cred Socks. Finage Shand. I just totally slaughtered that. But yeah, no, thank you for saying that. Or Fennec. Yeah. I lost my train of thought now. Cred Socks. Just kidding. But no, I mean, with Boba Fett, I was like, we get to see a different side, that he actually has an honorable side to him. He's not as cutthroat as I thought he was. Because he keeps his word to the Mandalorian, stays with him, helps him get Grogu back, and then leaves. He takes off, and they don't even show that. Like once he drops them off the ship and leaves, it's like he doesn't come back. So, I mean, I figured that he had to, because Fennec ends up back with him, and she was on the ship. So, yeah, Cred Socks. Sorry, I've been on life hiatus. It got really crazy for me there for a while, so I kind of had to walk away. But I'm trying to come back. I'm posting videos again, so yeah, I hope to get a lot more active again, so that yeah, we can, start building things again, because I've missed doing this. I really have. And the Mandalorian breathed life back into me. 2020 has pretty much sucked it right out of me, but the Mandalorian gave me some life today. And the Expanse has given me life. So I got two things, the lifelines, direct into the veins right now. But with back to the Boba Fett thing, I'm kind of excited to see what they'll do with him, because we see that he has an honorable side. Now, any of you who read the Timothy Zahn trilogy, and I've just lost his name, there's a criminal that ends up really being a majorly active part of that story, and he's kind of got his own syndicate and stuff. He became one of my favorite characters in the Timothy Zahn books, Heir to the Empire and the rest of them, because he's kind of a morally dubious character, but he knows when to be on the right side. It's kind of like the mafia in the back in the 30s. They were bad guys, but when World War or 30s and 40s, when the World War II broke out, and there were some serious issues going on, the government actually enlisted the mob to help them protect our ports during World War II. So, I mean, and you see this kind of put forward in I don't know if you guys ever watched the movie The Rocketeer, but the guy in there there's the Nazi played by Timothy Dalton, Timothy Dalton. I got it. He finds out he's a German agent, and the guy that's playing the mob boss in that turns to him and goes, "Hey, I may not make an honest buck, but I'm 100% American." That's what that criminal reminded me of in the extended universe Timothy Zahn novels. He was kind of a bad guy, and he did a lot of shady crap and stuff like that. But when the rubber hit the road, he knew, I would rather see the New Republic in charge of stuff than the Empire. Because he knew the difference between what was going to be good for him and what was going to be good for business and good for So, when he needed to, he came down on the right side. So I'm kind of hoping that's what they'll do with Boba Fett as he takes over Jabba the Hutt's old organization, which is apparently what he's going to do. Is I hope we get that kind of a character, the same kind of character we saw in the Clone Wars with the guy that talked like this, and he was always Kenobi. Don't you hate it when you have like a total brain fart? I think it happens to me all the time now that I'm getting older. I cut off my hair so you can't see the gray as much. But if you guys in the chat remember who it is I'm talking, is it not Lando? Anyway, I can't think of his name, but he reminds me of that character from the Clone Wars, who's kind of the criminal guy that kind of actually gets a relationship with Kenobi and Anakin, and kind of ends up helping them out at different times, but at the same time stabs them in the back about half the time. He's just a morally ambiguous character that's kind of floating around, just, hey, whatever is best for me, that's what I'm going to do. And I see Boba Fett becoming that kind of character, so that we get to see that more, that what's described in A New Hope as the underbelly, the scum and villainy of the Star Wars universe. And so I think we're going to get to see the underbelly, and I think we're going to sorry, I'm just reading your text here, or your comment. Oh, I'm totally spoiled. I did warn you that there was spoilers, Lady Miss, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, if you could if you could afford Disney Plus for a month just to go watch The Mandalorian and then cancel again, I would do that. I mean, because it is worth it. It really is. I never thought I'd say that about something that Disney was doing Star Wars, but hey, you got to give them kudos when they're doing something right. As I've heard others say today, is all forgiven? No, not even. Not even slightly. You've said way too much, and you've done way too many horrible things to one of my favorite franchises for me to just roll over and be like, okay, I'm your friend again. I'm not a Labrador Retriever. You can't gain my loyalty back that fast. But yes, I just it really is worth it. It really is worth it. Jon Favreau has done an amazing thing with The Mandalorian. And hope springs eternal. Hope that they're going to go forward from here, that maybe in just a little tiny bit they've realized their mistakes. Now sounds like they're still going to try and go ahead with some of their crap series, like the Rogue Squadron, which is supposed to be a total chick squadron of the baddest badass women ever in the whole galaxy, better than any man show, which can't wait for that. But no, I just this is what they need to do. If they want to save this franchise, if they don't want to just watch $4 billion go down the hole, you need to go Jon Favreau and say, dude, we want you to take over everything. We want you to tell us what to do. And hey, George Lucas, can you come back? That's what they need to do. It's really not that hard. Oh, Red Sox just popped something up here. Trying to get into the Expanse again. I think I may see it on X. What do you mean trying to get into it, Red Sox? What? I'm just kidding. Oh no, I did a video on the Expanse first 3 episodes. You can go watch that if you'd like. I had some of the same feelings. I mean, I liked them, but there was something holding me back a little bit in the Expanse season 5. But yeah, I can't wait. I'm so glad Amazon's doing it 1 week at a time, just like The Mandalorian, because I got more to look forward to, other than Joe Biden becoming our president. Sorry, that was political. Delete. So I apologize. But yeah, you just sorry, it's going to tank. What's going to take the Expanse or Mandalorian? Yeah, I know. Right? You can just feel it. Yeah, but you know what? Hey, they gave us hope. They gave us hope for this last episode. It's as long as Kathleen Kennedy doesn't get any more involved, we're okay. We're safe. I'm going to my happy place, Red Sox. I'm going to my happy place. It was so fun to watch Luke today, and then to have that reveal, and then to see R2. It was better than sex, just a little bit. Okay, maybe not. It's a toss up. It really is a toss up. I loved it. I mean, like, can you tell I'm a little choked out? I mean, I just what? Yeah, so great. All the Expanse. Okay, yes, yeah. So, what did you think, Red Sox? What did you think about The Mandalorian? Has it given you some faith back in Star Wars, or are you just kind of like, you've burned me too many times? Because I would totally understand that. But yeah, it's I got all next week off. I am so excited. I took vacation time, and I'm just going to catch up on binging and playing Farm Simulator and World of Warships and whatever I want to do. I'm just going to be lazy, worthless. Okay, not totally, because on Tuesday I got to go pick up my Harley Davidson. I bought a Harley Davidson. This will be my second Harley because I'd sell my first one. But damn, I'm excited to get a Harley back. Sorry, that was a little side note. Squirrel again. But I gotta put that up here, Chris. Oh, I feel you. I mean, I didn't bust out into two, but I mean, I was in my truck doing the happy dance. No. I mean, oh my gosh. Seriously, I am sure that the truck driver that was sitting next to me in the loading dock at the time thought I had just peed my pants or lost my mind or gotten bit by a rattlesnake or something. Because, man, I just, yeah. I'm sorry. I just kind of trailed off there again for a minute. Yeah, it was just so awesome. Yes, it was good. It was good, Lady Mist. And I'm going to start doing my Expanse shows again. So, because I got to pick up where we left off and just go balls to the walls to get through it to this season. Because I love the oh my gosh. I know this is a side note. We're doing Star Wars, but she made me. She brought up the Expanse. Lady Mist made me do it. That last, for those of you who may have not seen the first 3 episodes of the Expanse, spoilers. That last episode 3 at the end when that asteroid hits and the guy's skin is burnt. I was just like, oh, he was so good, so good. And I was just like, you bastards, you can't stop right there. But hey, I asked them to, I was one of the guys hoping for a weekly release, so I can't really. So, I mean, the moment it drops, I'm going to just watch the crap out of every episode. Not sure when the next one comes out, actually. That's kind of crappy of me. But yeah, no, yeah, isn't this what we wanted? And I don't know if you guys were in here at the beginning, but that's been like I would have been okay with the sequel trilogy, even with the same characters that had in it, had they done what they should have done with the characters, had they done something good with those characters. I mean, Rey could have been a good character. I liked the actress that played her. I mean, I thought she did she was a little wooden at first, but she got a lot better. And given what she had to work with, I mean, we're lucky anything even remotely okay came out of that. But there were some moments when she's tearing up and crying, and I'm just like, she's really given a good performance in this moment with just the shittiest dialogue ever written by human hands. But I mean, I got to give it. I mean, and Poe and Finn, and I mean, all those guys, they had such potential, and it just got flushed down the toilet. I mean, and what they did to Luke and Han and Leia. That's why I say I can't just forgive Disney for what they did. But if they pull their heads out, turn this around, and go in the direction they're going now, there's hope. But I know there's going to be a lot. That horrible cow is still in there in charge, and she's still going to try and push her crap into Star Wars. But as long as I can go, all right, we're Kathleen Kennedy shit over here, and Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni stuff over here. I'm just going to go this way, and you psychos can go that way with Kathleen the loser, and more power to you. But I'm going to watch the good stuff, and I'm going to laugh my butt off at everything you're doing, Kathleen, because it's just bad. But yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel bad for those actors now because I mean, if you were those actors, would you even want to admit that? I mean, you go for your next acting gig interview. Are you going to whip out your resume and go, yeah, I was in the last 3 Star Wars movies? No, you're going to be like, so what were you doing for the last 4.5 years? I was in a coma. I got hit in the head by a hammer that had fallen off a 2-story building, and I was totally out of it for the last 4 years. I wasn't in anything. Don't look up IMDb. Okay, just take my word for it. I didn't do anything. I mean, because that's what those guys are going to have to do to get work. And I feel bad for the Daisy Ridley because, and all of them. I mean, although the guy that played Poe, I mean, he's in the new Dune movie, so it sounds like, or it looks like he might have escaped complete and utter, career destruction. And oh my gosh, I can't wait to see that. I hate COVID. I hate you, COVID. You're putting off all these movies I want to see. I mean, it's not important that hundreds of thousands of people are dead. You're putting off my movies, damn it. Totally joking there. That's absolute sarcasm. SJWs, calm down. That's serious. But yeah, such potential wasted. But getting the Mandalorian is, as like I said before, it's like getting to see a family reunion of all the Star Wars brought together. The EU, the Clone Wars, the prequels, the original series, the original trilogy. I mean, it's all he's just brought it all together. He's brought video games. He brought the Dark Troopers out of Dark Forces. I mean, the Dark Saber, the Bo-Katan, and who wasn't super excited to see, oh Lord, I just lost her name, damn it. Because this is live. I lost her name. The girl that plays Bo-Katan. I can see her face. Battlestar Galactica. Nope, it's gone. You guys know who I'm talking about, though. Katie Sackhoff. Who wasn't excited to see her come and do that character? Oh my gosh. It was just like, yes. And I mean, when Mandalorian finally takes his helmet off for Grogu at the end of that episode, I just wanted to bawl like a little girl. Because I've got kids that are leaving home, and I know what that feels like to have to kind of say goodbye to your kids. And I mean, they're not leaving. It's not like they're going anywhere. They're not dead or anything. But I mean, when you have to let them go, when you have to let them go for their good, so that they can grow up, so that they can move on with their lives, and that's hard. That's hard. Even if the baby's 50 years old, that's going to be tough because he still didn't talk. But I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see Ezra. See, that's a character I know very, very little about. Because wasn't he in Rebels? But okay. There's so many good things in this season. But when we got to see, well, Sabine's dead, isn't she? I thought Sabine was dead. Or am I thinking of the wrong person? I'm sorry. Cred Sox is just making some comments here. If you're not in the live chat, you won't know why I'm responding like that. But I thought Sabine was dead, but I might be wrong on that. But yeah, there's so many. See, and I started to watch that, and then I just kind of. I don't know. I couldn't get past the change in the animation style. How sad is that? That I let that put me on. So I need to give it a shot again. So now you got me wondering. Now I'm gonna have to find out what happened to Sabine because I thought she got killed. And I might be mixing her up with. I think I'm thinking of Obi-Wan's love. And I don't think. I think you're. Yeah. Sorry. So many names, so many things swirling around. Today has been just a roller coaster ride day for me. Just to have that start my day off and then have to be at work and then to finally get to come home and talk about it. It's just been kind of a all day long. So I'm kind of frazzled, But I I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope that this bodes well for a future of Star Wars that I don't expect it to be perfect. I really don't. I don't expect perfection, but I do expect these people who are running Star Wars to give a damn. That's all I want. I just want you to pay attention to what came before and honor George Lucas's vision. Do the right thing at the right time for the right reason. How hard is that? I know you're in Hollywood, and you guys don't understand the concept of right and wrong, but you should read a book. Go read the Bible. Go read something that'll tell you what a moral compass is, because you guys need one, because you don't seem to have one. The rest of us do, so it's kind of awkward. So I'm super excited for the possibilities that this opens up. I hope it goes somewhere good, that I'm not going to look back and go, why did you get me invested in a character called Mandalorian, and then just basically go and just blow him out of his own show. And now we're going to follow the Boba Fett storyline, because don't get me wrong, I'm all for Boba Fett, but what? Yeah. Anyway, so thank you, Lady Mist. I love talking about this stuff, and I could just blather on and on and on. These are the things that give spice to our lives. These are the things that fill in the cracks when we don't have family around us, or we don't have this, or we don't have that. These are the things that you build your memories on, that you share with other people. And that's why it's so important. I know a lot of people could look at this and go, you guys are all worked up over a TV show. You guys are all worked up over movies. They're not just movies. They're memories. They're life experiences. They're times with friends and family. I saw the first Star Wars at a drive-in movie with my family, and I was a little tiny kid. And I mean, I was born in 74, and it came out in 79 or 77. So I mean, I was pretty little, but these are the things that help give our lives meaning, that give us the stories that we'll carry forward to our kids. So it's not just some random thing. It's one of the reasons I'm so angry about what they've done to Star Trek. Because I mean, as much as I love Star Wars, I'm a Trekkie. I am a super Trekkie, or I should say I was a super Trekkie. What they've done to that is just tragic as well. But thank you for being here with me tonight. I hope you've enjoyed this. Like I say, I'm going to start doing my Expanse streams again, doing the live watch parties, doing just really. I know, Cred Sox. I look old. My life's been hard. I'm a truck driver, and I probably look like I'm 70. But so yeah. But no, So, I mean, I hope you guys will join me. Look forward to talking to you guys and having you guys be a part of my streams. Oh, well, you're not that much older than me. 3 years. We could have still got married. You could have been the older woman. Just kidding. So thank you for being here tonight. And just let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know what you guys want to see in the future, what you guys would like to do, to see coming, because I think we need these things together, because I'm going to create a second channel, and split my political stuff off from my entertainment stuff, because some people get uncomfortable, and I could get fairly political. So I'm going to try and split those two, like fighting children. I'm going to try and separate them, so that it doesn't drive people away. I don't know. Maybe it'll drive them away anyway. I do like some horror flicks. To answer your questions, Cred Sox. You just picked my two favorite horror films. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yet, which brings us back to another Star Wars thing. How great was it to see Michael Biehn? Oh, joygasm. Oh, it was so great to see him in The Mandalorian. But yes, I do. I like suspense horror. I do not like gore horror. Does that make sense? Like Saw and things that are just gore. No, it really doesn't take any skill for me to make gore fests. But like Aliens, Predator, which Predator's not the first one was more of a horror flick. I guess they all kind of were to a certain extent. I love sci-fi. Like, I'll tell you one of the ones that freaked me out for weeks. Event Horizon. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. I couldn't sleep for weeks after I saw that, and I was in college at the time. So I mean, but that movie just freaked me out. Some of the scenes in that are just like, what did I just see? My favorite is See, and I never got into the Halloweens. When I was growing up, the Friday the 13th movies were really big, and you couldn't go to a teenage party without being subjected to a Friday the 13th movie. You know, and they were so bad, and yet so good. But yeah, I do like some horror films, so maybe I'll have to do some on. I love Aliens. Out of all the Alien movies, Aliens is my favorite. What they did with Prometheus and on, just no, that was the worst. But yes, so we will have to do that because I do love those. Those are fantastic films. Sigourney Weaver's so hot. Did I say that out loud? Anyway, thanks for being here, guys. It's over an hour, so if I don't stop, I'm just gonna keep talking. Yeah. So I make a list of movies you'd like to get together and discuss and talk about, and send it to me on Twitter, instant message me. Because I'm always up for talking about all kinds of stuff. I have a very wide variety of tastes, as you can tell from the posters. The one you guys can't see is Forbidden Planet, which is one of my all-time favorite science fiction films. I watched it with my mom when I was a kid. And then Star Trek, Star Wars, Avengers, Black Pearl, and anime. I'm a huge anime fan. So much in so little time. Anyway, thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for participating. I really do love the chance to get to interact with you guys and to get to talk to you on the chat and stuff. It is really great. Anyway, Hicks was awesome. Anyway, thanks for being here. You guys have a great night, and we will talk to you next time.